to the mom's view. So Lisa is not going to be hosting as regularly, and there is no way on the planet I would even pretend to try to replace or top her in any way. No, I would never. Stop. But I'm going to try, at least for a little while, to bring the non-mom questioning, inquiring mind to these discussions and help lead us along and introduce our guest. And I'm sure we'll have some guest hosts, and we'll be rotating, but for a little while I'll be here. And I want to thank viewers who have been kind and welcoming me, because it is always a challenge to jump into a new community, so thank you. And we are so lucky because today we have Jane Buckingham, who is an author, a blogger, and has been a regular on Good Morning America, and also appeared on The View. So we have to start with that, because
gosh,
I want to know how does it stack up?
Well, we'll let her tell us at the end, huh?
It's probably a lot harder for you guys to get rid of someone than for them, because you're all related. But you know what? They're lovely women. They really are. They're great gals. It's a fun set. They always, what I always find amazing is that even, you know, famous women who are on big TV shows still like free products. So yes, whenever we have stuff, it always seems to disappear by the end.
That's so funny.
But you know what? They're actually really nice. I think the hardest time was when Rosie O'Donnell was one of the hosts. She was a little tougher. But now it's a really nice group. She's feisty and they're all lovely.
Oh, that's great.
I really love Elizabeth.
You know what? I've known Elizabeth since we both did a show on the Style Network, and she is truly, I feel like she's one of the more misunderstood people, because she is an amazing mom, amazing wife, an amazing worker, and yet she gets put in this role of sort of having to defend certain views of hers. And she's smart and young and fabulous, and I always hate it when anybody criticizes her, because she's great.
I think that's what I love about her, is because she does stick up for what she believes, even if she's like fighting and everyone's like against her and she's just fighting. She just sticks by what she believes.
I mean, it all started when she was on Survivor, and you can see, like, she's got that, and she's
a fighter.
She's a fighter, and she's tiny, and she has dealt with challenges in her life, but clearly what matters to her most is really her kids, her family, her beliefs, and she's just a good egg. She really is.
Good for her.
And a hard worker, let me tell you. She's doing stuff for Good Morning America. She's doing The View. She's moving. She's doing all kinds of stuff.
Awesome.
Yeah, she's great. They're all great.
Well, we're really lucky to have you here with us.
It's so fun to be here. I want to marry your little brother.
So she can be part of the family.
So I can be part of the family. My husband might have a little issue with that, but you know, he gets
We'll just adopt you in.
Thank you. Yeah, I would like that. That would be nice.
Jane is the author of 3 books, more than 3, 4.
Well, 3 in the Modern Girl series.
3 in the Modern Girl series, and we have some of them here. Do you want to hold one up and show everyone? Modern Girl's Guide to Life, and the Modern Girl's Guide to Motherhood.
And then there's a purple one.
Is it Modern Girls Sticky?
Modern Girl's Guide to Sticky Situations.
Yes, Sticky Situations.
Awesome. And then I was about to do Modern Girl's Guide to Raising Decent Daughters, because now that my, and I have to say, and son, so my son doesn't think I love her more. It just didn't sound as good. And he doesn't cause as many problems. But then I thought, you know what, these days, I would rather be able to not have to sit for 6 months and write a book. I want to do it as a blog, and then that way people will be able to give me feedback on what they like, what they're interested in. But literally, I can't write them fast enough as problems come up in my house. I'm like, oh, okay, now I have to find out because I really write these books because I need to find out the answers, whether it was in Guide to Life or it was throwing a dinner party or Motherhood, you know, the best gear, or now, you know, what do you do when your kid wants an email address, or how do you keep them from, you know, doing something bad to their friend, or what do you do when they feel alienated? So all that kind of stuff. So now as my kids get older, my issues in books get older too.
So how do your kids feel about you putting all this out there?
Well, I mean, you guys know kids are so different. My son is so private, and you know, when we did a show for Modern Girl's Guide to Life, and we did it in our house, and he would run from the cameras. Oh gosh. My daughter, who at the time was sort of 2, I mean, it was just an innate sense of anytime there was a camera, she would just sort of find herself in front of it, and she's, you know, she loves that. She loves that I talk about her. But I think, as you know, I think I once put something of them naked in the bath, like a very young picture of them naked in the bath, but that was big mistake. Not okay. So
how old are they?
So interesting.
My son is now 11 and my daughter's 9. Yeah. So they're getting there.
And what's the blog called?
The blog is, well, you can just go to it by decentdaughters.com, but to sort of stay in the tradition, it's Modern Girl's Guide to Raising Decent Daughters because, you know, I think that parenting today is so different than it used to be. And the way, you know, even, and I talk to a lot of experts about things, and sometimes I use their advice and sometimes I don't because it's so hard when you're a mom. You know what the rule book says, but then you know the reality can be so different of what you have to do, what you want to do, what your situation allows you to do.
Rule books don't, I mean, they don't work for every child. Like, every child is so different, every parent is different, every dynamic is different. You can't always stick to ABC. It's not always plays out like that. It'd be nice because
it would be so easy. And also, I feel like people in their parenting tend to always put sort of the sugar coating on. I mean, not you guys, you're so honest about it, but you know, so many books and so many things have that, oh no, my child slept through the night. You know, yeah, if you consider 5 hours sleeping through the night, or you know, yeah, my child is perfect. And you have to be willing to say, like, even if my kids aren't perfect and I'm not a perfect parent, it doesn't mean I love them less or they're less great people. So we have plenty of flaws in our house, don't you worry.
Do you mind actually sharing with us something that has been a recent topic for your blog, or something that a sticky situation?
You know, one that I wrote about was about bullying, because that's such a big issue. And I actually went to this lunch for, I mean, this sounds really heavy, but for the Rape Treatment Center. And it was talking about this poor girl in college who basically had been sexually assaulted. And what was even worse was that all these people watched as she was taken upstairs, clearly drunk and, you know, out of her mind in college. And what it made me realize was, you know, I think we all go, oh my gosh, I'm not raising that kid. Like, I'm not raising the kid who's going to do something horrible. But we also have to raise kids who won't be bystanders.
Yeah,
and
I was just thinking that.
You know, will be able to stand up to difficult things in life. And, you know, so it really struck me because there was a parallel situation going on at our school where a boy in my son's class was sort of being bullied, not horribly, but enough. And it made me have a conversation with him about it's not enough not to do it. You really have to help stand up for someone. And, you know, I think, frankly, some of the bullying today is overblown that we talk about. You know, it's like if you tell someone you don't like her dress, I don't think that's bullying. I think that's being a kid. But, you know, I think there are things that we can help empower our kids to do and feel more comfortable, even if it means go getting a friend and standing up to that bully. It doesn't always have to be you saying, no, I am the lone voice, and then the kid picks on you. So, but that was fun. And, you know, but it was also like buying training bras. Because
fun,
right? I mean, I'm hoping for one someday. But you know, my daughter is not ready, but a lot of the girls in my son's class are. And so I was talking to the moms, and they were saying, first of all, you do not call it a training bra. Like, that is not okay.
It's like, just, they have full-on boobs. They're
they
not
have full-on
boobs.
And what are you training them to do? Will they sit up? Will they roll over? So, but just like how they were saying that you should, like, never surprise them. Like, don't be like, oh, look, here we are in the bra section. Let's get you some, like, that's, you don't want to do the surprise attack, but, you know, some girls want to talk about it. Some girls want you to go and buy it for them. Now, like, you know, Justice has these really adorable, way better than, like, the white triangles we had. And, you know, but it is. And also, my favorite thing was she was saying that the girls in the grade, the way they find it out is they're like, hi. And that way they see, like, who's wearing a training bra and who isn't.
Oh, my gosh.
And it's not the boys. It's the girls.
They want to know.
Right?
They want to know.
Girls are so competitive.
Oh my gosh.
They want to be Sally Sue has a bra on today.
Right.
I remember that though, but in like 3rd grade.
Yeah. There are some, and you know, first they're embarrassed, and then they're happy to be one. And you know, our school, they can't wear spaghetti straps. I guess as a nod to that, but and also just with kids maturing so much faster.
Yeah.
You have to have these conversations with your kids at younger and younger ages that you didn't, not to mention the things they can find online, and you know, you search Pokemon and you come up with something you really shouldn't expect.
Well, I'm so happy that you have made this blog, because my little girl is 7, so you know, going to be starting this. I'm so happy that there's somewhere to go. Just honest.
Thank you. And you have to send me any questions, because my daughter can fill up a pretty big blog, but you never know. I'm sure there will be other issues.
Yes, I'm sure I will have a lot.
I hope so. Thank you.
We usually take questions from viewers that people have asked on our Facebook or on the YouTube comments, and a topic that we thought would be great to discuss with you is how you balance being a mom and a career. And I know we talk about balance. We've had some conversations about making sure you have time for yourself. But I think this gets at the heart of who you are as a person once you become a mom. Are you just the mom? Is the mom your full-time job? How do you keep your own identity? And do you lose sight of some of the goals you had before? And I'm actually really excited to talk about this because we had an episode where we talked a little bit about thinking about having a baby, and I talked about my worries about my relationship. Something I didn't mention in that episode is something that also concerns me is, will I, almost against my own will, lose my ambition? Because I have a lot of ambition now, and I'm excited about my work, but I've seen people, it changes, your goals change. That's not necessarily bad, but how can you tell us what you think?
It's so hard. I mean, I think it's really hard, and I think anyone who says it isn't is lying. You know, I went to this conference where CarlieStylez was speaking, and someone asked a question. They were like, you know, you said we could have it all. We could, you know, be married or have relationships and have kids and have a career, but it is really hard. How do you do it? And there was a pause, and she goes, I didn't say you can have it all. I said that you should choose. Like, women should be allowed to choose what they want. And if you want to have a career, if you want to have kids. So I'm sitting there thinking, so my entire life has been a typo. I thought she said can, and it really said you can't have it all. Like, oh my God, well, now what do I do? And I think, you know, honestly, I did become less ambitious when I had kids because my kids are really important to me, and it is a full-time job. But I also realized that hopefully life is long, and you can do it in waves, right? You don't have to be as ambitious every year as you've been. And if you're lucky, you can have your kids at a time when you can take a little break or be a little less ambitious. And I think more and more you can come into the working world at different phases. But I think, you know, I think it's not balance. It's making, someone said it's like a ship, and you just have to make sure you don't like capsize one way or the other. And there are weeks where I feel like I'm doing okay at my job and really bad as a mom, and weeks that I feel like I'm doing well as a mom and bad at a job. And my husband's like, hello. Like, oh, get in line, right? You know, so, you know, it is hard. But I think you know, someone said, kids don't make your life better or happier, they make your life richer. Yeah. I was like, why didn't you tell me this before I got pregnant? But
I thought it was going to make my life better.
Yeah, right. They were supposed to make me happy. And it's kind of true. Like, they make my life richer. But I also think for people who choose not to have kids, that's their choice. And, you know, it's all about it being your choice and doing what you want to do when you want to do it.
Yeah. I think it's good that you have the concern of, like, because kids will change it is going to change you, but I think that it's always a good thing. It's a good change in a different way, and it's like your life changes because you're bringing something new into it. But like your ambitions, I think, like, they come in waves, and you can like work more some days and have your kids some days. But something that I've like just decided I'm going to do, I'm like, I'm just going to accept failure. Not that I'm not going to like fail at my goals, but if I don't like go to the gym and do all these things that I've had planned out for the day, I'm not going to get down on myself. Like, okay, that was yesterday, I'm going to move on. Or like you said, if I'm bad at my job one day but better at being a mom, like, okay, at least I did something good for the day.
Mm-hmm.
So I just think it's important to, like, as moms, we just have to know that we can't do everything all the time. And what we do get done, be happy with it. The rest that didn't get done, just let it go.
I think that's true.
That's so hard, though.
Really.
I know.
It's way easier said than done.
The best advice someone gave me was, confident parents make confident children. And I was like, oh, well, then I'm in big trouble. But I think it's true. It's like, as long as they know you're comfortable with your decisions and what you're doing, and that you're not feeling like you're a failure every day, then they respond accordingly.
It's funny when you're talking about that Gloria Steinem quote that I remember I heard Barbara Walters say once, you can have it all, but you can't have it all at the same time. And I thought that was really interesting.
Totally.
And I would just love to hear even specifically what you were doing when you found out you were pregnant, and then how things changed, and if your writing now is affecting. And I'd love to hear that for each of you, actually.
Wow. Okay, you guys go first.
Well, when I found out I was pregnant with Braylee, I was going to beauty school and super young. So I don't feel like I had anything set. It was just kind of like, I have a baby and I'm starting out with a baby. And I don't know if that, to me, that was easier because I didn't feel like I was sacrificing this career I had, or, you know, feeling like I had to put this career on a back burner. I was able to finish beauty school right before I had her. And I actually took a year off and realized that I would be a better mother working. But then I went to work, and I am a beautician, and so I had a clientele, And it was really hard for me to have that balance of not putting my clients before my family. And I actually had a lot of issues with that, with my kids feeling that way, with my husband feeling that way. So it's hard. It's a hard balance, but yeah, that's where I was.
Yeah.
You know,
I think for me, like when I first had kids, that was my goal. Like I didn't really have strong, like I want to be a career woman, I want to do this. So for me, it wasn't as difficult. And, you know, we were in a position where I did have to work a little bit. I was a waitress at nights just to get by. But now things have changed a little bit, and I've found something that I love to do. And it has been a challenge. It's been a really hard thing to go from being a full-time mom to now I'm, you know, working part-time. And so it has been an adjustment, but I've noticed that it's made me a better mom when I'm home, because I'm able to just, I guess, appreciate the moments with them more.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I'm a better mom, really, kids, but...
Well, you know, I think we've talked about this a couple of times just personally, because I know, I mean, it has been hard. I think you have such a high standard at which you hold yourself as a mother.
Right.
And feeling like you're ever letting that down is, I've seen it be painful for all of you guys in different ways. But I remember reading, too, that children whose parents and mothers are modeling a love of work and a love of engaging in the world actually do really well, and that any of the anti-feminist concerns that working women were going to kill children and ruin their development were really wrong. If that is, try to say that.
Well, and I think, too, like what Carlie said, is not to allow myself to feel guilty. That's been the biggest challenge, is to, like, do this, you know, be a career woman and be a mother and not feel guilty on either end. Because when I'm starting to make myself feel guilty, then both of them start to fail.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I read a quote. It was about life isn't about finding happiness. It's about expanding our own happiness. And we get so focused on the negative, and it's like life is, we're here to be happy and to like grow and to help each other out as like women and friends and family. And so that's why it's like something that's kind of helped me. It's like, you know what, just be happy and do the best you can. And like so much easier said than done. It's almost like we make a task list for everything we haven't done and maybe a task list for the things we have done. And
so
we're like,
true.
And I think women can be hard on women.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, I was going to school one day and I was stressed out because I was going to a meeting, and a mom said to me, "What do you do? Because you don't look like the rest of us." And I was like,
know, right?
in other words, I'm a terrible mom. And, you know, and I think that moms can help each other out. Women can help each other out. And you also, if you're working or you're not working, in either situation, you're going to be busy and you're going to have too much. You have 4 kids. How you can possibly get it all done is amazing to me. So, you know, I think it's about helping each other out, making your own rules. Like when I work, I don't do any business lunches. I've said, which is like really big in my business. People at lunches, they love to lunch. And I just said, you know what, I don't. It's too much time. I leave at 2:30 to get my kids. That would give me like a 3-hour work day. So you have to sort of rewrite the rules for you, and, you know, and then hopefully not be as judgmental to other women.
Right.
yeah.
I think that's a big one, because I think a lot of times, like, I don't want to ask for help because I don't want to look like I can't handle it.
Oh yeah. Oh, I've been up baking for bake sales like till 3 in the morning. I'm like, I will not buy prepared food, and I'm like, which would taste so much better than anything I can make, but I will not do it.
Did you write your books after your children were? How did that work?
I have the worst timing. When I was pregnant with my second child, I was writing the first book. I was selling my company. I was filming a TV show, and I was moving to Los Angeles. And I was like, no problem. I can totally do all this.
Oh my gosh.
I look back at that time, and I think, why? I mean, no wonder I was so miserable. I was miserable, and it was a wonderful bounty of great things, but it just would have been nice if it had been spaced out.
Yeah.
I didn't sleep a lot. But I also think I got to a point where, and then I did the motherhood one because I was like, I have to find all this out. Then I took a little break, and then I was about to do another book, the Decent Daughters book, and then I really just thought, at what point is it enough? Like, at what point have I done enough that I feel confident and good? And I don't know, but I knew that my kids would have to sacrifice, and I knew my husband would have to sacrifice, and all of that. So I said, you know what, I'm going to be smarter about it and do it more gradually.
Yeah.
Isn't that interesting how we
It's
just...
amazing.
I feel that way too. Like sometimes I don't have a very good balance. Like I feel like lately I've been working so much, and then I'm like, okay, I have to tone it back, take some out of this, put some in this, and just sort of reevaluate every week or
So
every day
hard.
even.
It's so hard. And I have an amazing husband. He's great. But he doesn't care if, you know, they go to the dentist, you know, every 9 months, not every 6 months.
Right.
Like, it is 6 months on the dot. You know, it's a different, you know, set of priorities. So he, you know, sometimes I feel like I put it on myself, and sometimes I just feel like that's what we do as moms.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do put a lot of, I mean, even just as women, I feel like we put a lot of pressure on ourselves. That thing about when isn't enough, you know, I feel like that. I watch you guys do that about motherhood, and I know that I tend to do that about being there for friends and my husband and my, you know, what's going on with work, and just feeling like when is it okay to say, I'm going to take a break and I'm going to take it easy on myself.
Sometimes I think it's good, though, that at least we have those desires to want to do all these things, because I really think there are some people out there who don't care. They're just like, you know, which is their thing, but at least we all have the desire, which is a great start to being successful, is to have the desire to do all those range of things. So.
And I think it's also just redefining what success means to you.
Yeah.
Is it, okay, I need to have a 4th book, I need to have a yellow book, you know, it's what is the level of success, and just sort of finding that own. I haven't completely at all, but sort of finding that peace. And there are days that I do it better than others, and days when I'm like, no, I have to.
I know, because I'm like, do you just feel awesome? You've written all these books. I would be like, yeah, go me.
No, I mean, I'm really happy they're there, and I'm really happy that I've gotten great feedback, because I'm glad that I sort of gave that gift, if you want to call it that, and I'm glad that I learned. But no, I always feel this need that I have to do more. I have to do something.
It's good. It's a good desire. It's like a little fire.
A blog is such a great thing, though, because you are giving constantly on a blog, right?
And hopefully getting, you know, feedback back on what people want. But, you know, I think it's, my mom passed away when I was not younger, but 21. And, you know, for a while I think I was doing stuff to sort of make her proud. And now I feel like I'm doing stuff to make my kids proud. And, but at the end of the day, you really have to make yourself proud of yourself, I guess. I feel very like Marianne Williamson today. Very like, I don't know.
Yeah, I appreciate your sharing that. I mean, I'm so curious how you guys are envisioning. Is there going to be a yellow book? What are you thinking in terms of, do you think about your careers in the next few years, the next 10 years, if there are more kids, or with the kids you already have?
Yeah, I don't know. Life is crazy. I just want to get married.
Goal number one.
But it's like hard, because it's, you know, like, I think for me it's different because I'm not married and I do want that. And so it's like, then, but I have to take into consideration, what's my future husband going to be doing? Is he going to be in school? Is he going to have a job? Are we going to have to move? So it's like, I want to go back to school and finish my degree, and there's like other things I want to accomplish, but I want to do them for myself, but I can't plan on the timing because I want to get married, and who knows when that's all going to work out. So it's like, you live day to day, do the best you can, and as life comes together or doesn't, whatever. But
good attitude, girlfriend.
Thanks, I'm trying.
Oh, wow.
I think for me, doing YouTube, having this amazing opportunity to be able to do this, has opened my eyes a lot and has given me so much more time with my kids. I don't feel like I am putting so many people before my family, and I'm able to do videos with my kids, which is such a huge blessing. And so that's what I see, is hoping to continue to do this and to do hair, but just a little bit, just enough because I love it, just enough to like feed that need that I have to do that and that desire.
You can do
I
mine.
know.
do
I was
mine
gonna
every
say,
day.
just
You
enough
do.
to make sure that Kayli always does
I'll
my
help you
hair
feel
for
better.
the shows. So.
Yeah, so I'm so grateful for YouTube and the opportunity to do it. It's been a huge blessing.
That's
Right. Well, I just feel like, like I love doing this, and I wanted to be a mom forever. So I feel like as long as I can just balance what I have right now, and just, I never look to like a year from now. I never do. I don't know how
I don't
people do
either.
it.
I
Like,
can't look
will
in a
be doing
week.
this.
Right.
I
Like, let alone
can't.
a year.
So really what my goal is, because I realize that my children are not going to be young forever.
Right.
So my goal is to really just enjoy them now and be okay with saying no to different projects and no to this and no to that, but not quitting completely. You know what I mean?
Right.
Being able to still do something for myself, but not dive into it completely until maybe they're all in school and I can spend a little bit more time, but just to enjoy them.
I think that it's so important to realize that opportunities, you don't have to do everything the minute you think of it. And that and that was what I was thinking about the book, just because I had an idea doesn't mean I have to go and turn my life upside down. And obviously you want to take the great opportunities that come along, but if it means too much sacrifice for your family, for your kids, then it's not the right opportunity. And, you know, I really do believe that, you know, I think with my kids right now, they're in a phase where they're okay with me working. They're in school for, you know, the whole day. When they're teenagers, I am going to be home to make sure nobody's up to trouble. So, you know, I think that also goes in waves too. So just sort of adjusting on the daily, monthly basis. There are times when I just have to sort of rewrite the course, and I'm lucky I can do that sort of because of what I do.
I like that you said the timing thing, because that's so how we are, like laying in bed at night, get all these ideas, and after I don't get them done, I'm like, oh, I suck. Right? But it's like, it really is about like, what can I accomplish right now, and what's something that I can like plant and let it build up for later when I have a great time, and not just like, but not lose that idea.
Do you think kids have helped you cultivate more of a low-key attitude in a way? I mean, because I'm really admiring and really impressed by all of you, you know, becoming a little bit easier on yourself, or not thinking so far in the future. And maybe it's just me, or it's my driven parents. But you know, I worry.
Yeah, we're like tired. We're like
tired to have all this ambition right now.
That's amazing. Well, hey, there's plug one for another plug for motherhood.
I think
too tired to worry.
I don't know about you guys, but when my kids were super young, I think I was the most stressed out that I would break them, that I would hurt them, that I wasn't, you know, that my career was going haywire. Like, I was stressed about everything. And as they get older, I sort of realized that it's okay. Not, you know, I can't make them perfect. I've already broken them, so it's fine. And you know, B, there's more to it than sort of pretending you have the perfect family in life, because nobody does.
Right.
I just think like the saying, if you stress about something, it doesn't help anything. And like having kids, I feel like you always feel the stress. And it's like, that's just, life is just taking it as it comes. And I didn't mean to sound like, I just want to get married and that's all I need is a man to feel stable in my life. But I meant like, that's something I do want, and that is a goal, like to have a future family and things that I do want in the future. But I don't know when that's going to happen. If it happens sooner or later, I wouldn't complain. But whenever it happens, it happens. But yeah.
That's great.
Just let it, you just got to be cool with it. You can't stress, because it gives us wrinkles, and we all don't want wrinkles.
No, that is for sure.
I think too, with having kids, it makes you realize that you can't control everything.
Yeah.
That,
like,
I think, is key.
Right, because being single and like having your goals and you're like on your way to them, there's not really a whole lot like stopping you.
Right.
And so when you have kids, you know, it brings in, you're responsible for this other life who has a different mind and a different idea and a different will and mindset, schedule. So having 4 kids, I think the more and more I've realized I can't control any situation, so I'm just gonna go with the flow and do my best.
Even if you like prepare, even preparing does help a little bit and takes, I think, somewhat of the edge off. But even like the most amounts of preparing that you can do, sometimes you wake up and it's like, I prepared everything that I needed to for the day, and it still was a tornado of a day.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
All the things you prepared for, it's the thing you never would have thought to prepare for.
Yeah,
you never would have anticipated that was going to be the issue or the problem. So you kind of have to relax into it and just go, it's going to be okay. And I hate it when people say this to me, but like, it is more about the journey. It is more about enjoying it as it goes.
Cliches of life.
Yeah, it really is.
Bob Marley, don't worry, be happy.
You know what he was talking about, right?
No, and it's
pretty
true.
happy.
Even when you don't have kids, I mean, I think that myth of control is actually, to let that go is really key, because I think it's a funny thing to think you have to control everything. It's sort of too much responsibility, but it's also weirdly arrogant at the same time, because you're like, oh, my mind, if I think really hard or worry about this, it will control, like I can control it. And you know, remembering that you can't is actually a relief of that sort of burden, you know?
Sounds like it's time for you to have a baby.
Oh,
see, she is more ready than any of us are.
Well, that's because I have you guys. Without you, I wouldn't, I need this. But thank you so much for being on the show.
It was fun. So
thank you. Thank you guys. And thank you all for watching. And we have a giveaway, which is for busy moms on the go.
I love
my
these
favorite
things
things in the
Oh
world.
my God, the best.
A crock pot.
I always give it to you. I'm like, can you hold this?
There you go.
This is a good one. I have this one.
Yeah. So I can.
It's
we'll
a
have
good
to.
brand.
I just made a great quinoa chili.
Oh.
So good.
In a crock pot?
In a crock pot.
Can
You
we
like
get
put
the
it-
recipe and put it on our Facebook?
Oh, 100%. You put it in, leave it. Great. Everyone likes it.
Oh,
Awesome.
I'm actually hoping to have more crockpot recipes on my channel, so
So go to
Stay tuned.
So go to our Facebook page and answer this question.
What is a great tip that helps you be better balanced? Mine was don't have long lunches, especially if you're working. But I'm sure people have great tips.
It's a good tip.
I can't wait to hear everyone's tips.
Yeah.
That'd be great. We're also going to give away Jane's book, a signed copy of The Modern Girl's Guide to Life. So that'll be part of the giveaway also.
Awesome.
Yeah. And don't forget to leave comments on what you guys want us to talk about on future episodes of The Mom's View, and we'll see you guys next time.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.